Hello and welcome to Mike's Garage. We're finally back on this Evo motor. We got kind of sidetracked with that 4-speed, and that 4-speed was not well. But we finished that up, so it's back on this Evo. Now, I want to recap exactly how far we got with it. Basically, what we were going to do is take two Evo motors apart and put the good crankshaft, flywheel assembly in the other set of cases. So I cleaned up the cases real well. We already put new races in them. We showed lapping the pinion race. And now we're ready to put the left crankcase half on, which means we're going to put the Timken bearings in place. So in order to do that, put the flywheels on a stand, actually a flywheel fixture. And one of my buddies made this one about 100 years ago, so I want to show it off. Now, you can buy one, but there's a homemade unit. My old buddy John Petrie made that one. And haven't seen John in a long time, but a real talented guy. There we go. It's back in place. Out. Okay. So now what we want to do is put the inner bearing in place. And I usually do these bearings as a set. Now if you look in your service manual, it tells you how to match them. You have the two bearings and their races. You have the spacer that goes between the races, which we put in the case already. And the races are in the case. And then there is one spacer that goes on between the two bearings. Well, then you start matching the spacers until you get them to fit your motor right. If you buy them as a complete set, you're usually pretty much okay. Now that's the more expensive way to do it, but buying them as a match set, pretty nice way to go. So I'm going to lube the inside of this this bearing here so it can slide onto the sprocket shaft of the left flywheel. And we'll get it started on here. And it's going to slide right on with the proper tool. This is kind of exciting. This tells me the motor's finally going together. So here is the tool. Let's see here now. You know, the best way to do this is with the inner spacer in place. And use that inner spacer to put the bearing on with. And we'll lube this tool up a little bit too. This is the best way to do it, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, this is the inner part of the tool. And we're going to take the little factory handle here and put it in place. It'll probably take me more time to talk about this than it will to do the job, but there it is. Okay, now we'll put this washer on here. And here's this little radial bearing that's part of the tool. And the next washer and the nut. And what we're going to do is take a big wrench my brother-in-law found at a yard sale, and we're going to turn this nut. This nut takes about a 1 7/8 inch wrench, and I looked around, I said, where in the world? And then I remembered that old wrench that my brother-in-law got for me at a yard sale that I've been using for this, and I hadn't used it in a long time. So, here it comes. And all we're going to do is tighten this tool down, and it'll take the bearing all the way down. Like I said, it's about a 1 7/8, so it takes little doing. But we lubed it up good. And I'm enjoying this. I don't know why. I guess it's because it's cool. It's kind of a long way down there, so if anyone's losing interest while we do this, sorry about that. Must be taking a long time. The tool's getting warm. Embarrassment. Okay. I'm sure everybody's going to comment on this wrench. Somebody's going to know the purpose of it. It's obviously a special purpose wrench. And there's a chance the gas company's going to come to my house and say, you stole our wrench. But honestly, my brother-in-law bought it at a yard sale. Okay, that bearing is down all the way. And now we can take the tool back off. In case anyone's wondering why mechanics' hands get worn out. All right. And there it is. Not bad. Now I think what we'll do is put a little bit of assembly lube on that bearing. Just don't want to start the motor up with that bearing dry. Or any bearing dry, actually. Truth of the matter is we'll crank it over and it'll get a shot of oil before we do that. Okay, we're going to leave the spacer in place. And we're going to set the case on it now. And here it is. And on it goes. Now you want to be sure that the forked bearing is toward the rear and that this thing just feels right on here, and it does. So now we'll put the next bearing on. And lo and behold, we will have our left case, our Timken set, installed here. And that's great news. Again, some assembly lube is in order. And get it to the inside of this thing too. You can see in the camera, probably can see it. Okay. And on it goes. And you can see now the taper goes in the opposite direction on the outside. Okay. You know, I feel like lubing up the bearings to the tool a little better. I don't want to tear them up. And now I'm an oily, yucky mess. Okay. Okay, when we have this done, then we will have our Timken set installed, and we'll probably finish up the video right there. Let's get this on here first. I want to get ahead of myself. Okay. Now you can tell when this thing gets all the way down there, it stops. Okay, I believe we're just about there. Everybody's looking happy here. Always remember the forked rod goes in the rear on these late model motors. When I say late model, I mean after the 1930s. Okay. And there it is, all the way down. Okay, now all we need to do is back that nut off a little bit. Get the handle for this tool here. And we can take the whole tool and put it away. And there it is. All right. We now have our flywheel assembly into the left case. So what I'm going to do is set up a little better here and get ready to install the right case. But there are the Timken bearings in on the left. And that's a pretty happening thing. And that's as far as we're going to go in this video. I might add, if you get a chance, push that little button and subscribe. You'll be notified when every new video comes out. And that's a cool thing. So I'll see you in the next video. Until then, hopefully see you out on the road.